Democrats certainly want to make this a referendum on COVID-19. Will that be the most important issue, or will it go back to that basic old thing that we always talk about, is the economy, quote unquote, stupid, that Bill Clinton said years ago?
Yeah. Well, you know, I think that those two issues are intertwined, right? I mean, certainly Democrats, and we've seen this for months. There have been commercials aired on Channel 7 for months that have hammered the president on his response to the coronavirus. So you can't really talk about the economy without talking about COVID, and vice versa. And it really depends on, in the last couple of months leading up to Election Day, last couple of weeks even, how the economy seems to be doing. And if it is in an uptick, that only helps Trump.
What down ballot races are you going to be keeping a close eye on? Because this is not just about the White House. What happens at the top of the ticket certainly can affect what happens all the way down the line.
Certainly the presidency, especially in an era which we're in now that is incredibly partisan, incredibly polarized, gets all of the attention, as it should. But it's those races that are down the ballot, state house, county commission, city council, school board, right? Those are the offices and elected officials that are going to make decisions that really impact folks on a daily basis. I would start with the John James, Gary Peters election. That could be one of the deciding races as to who controls the United States Senate in 2021 and 2022, which has huge governing implications, majority-minority party in that body moving forward. I think,
and that's another potentially historic race. We've never had an African-American U.S. senator from the state of Michigan.
Absolutely. And if John James flips that seat, it really puts Republicans in a strong position to hang on to the U.S. Senate and be a check against not only what is likely to be a Democratic House of Representatives, but a potential Biden administration. I think we can certainly look at potential or interesting races in the 8th Congressional District, 11th Congressional District, simply because Democratic candidates flipped those from Republicans last time with Slotkin and Stevens, who we talked about before. But then further down the ballot, I'd look at Oakland County Chief Executive because, again, Oakland County's been a place that has been trending Democrat for several years. Of course, that seat was held by Brooks Patterson for a long, long time. Dave Coulter appointed to be an interim until the election could take place. And as a Democrat, can he keep that in Democratic Party hands and take the county maybe in a different direction?
Race seems to be shaping up as a key issue, for better or worse, depending on how you're viewing it. In your mind, how key will that be as people go to the polls in November to vote?
Race has always been the underbelly of all elections, all campaigns, and all of the individuals who are speaking. Even if you are an African American in either party, race is always a part of the unspoken discussion. We have here in Michigan a young man that is running on the Republican side against Senator Peters.
John James.
John James. Even if he was qualified, even if he had 4 degrees, he has worked in the community, he has served the people, he is in a party that appears not to receive him well. And so African Americans are saying they're looking side-eyed. They're very suspicious about him. So race has always been there. When I keep saying to folks, African Americans get up every morning and they know that race is an issue. Every single morning, before this election and after this election.
The real battle is for the Michigan House. If Democrats pick up 4 seats, they take control. If they don't pick up that, Republicans maintain the control that they've had for, it seems like, eons now. Do you think there's a good shot that Democrats can be able to pull that off? Republicans certainly say they're putting up the firewall.
Absolutely. And I think, part of the answer to that is in 2018, where Democrats picked up, I think, 9 seats on Republicans 2 years ago. And some of those 9 pickups were in traditionally Republican areas. So Democrats first have to keep all of the ones that they have and then try to pick up those other 4. So anytime we're talking about a small number of seats, like we are here with just needing 4 to flip that chamber, anything's possible. And I think you'll see a bunch of money poured into those races as time moves on. And because there's on both sides, right, to try to put up that firewall, as you say, for Republicans, and to flip those seats for Democrats. At the end of the day, though, I wonder how much that really matters, because the Republicans are still going to have the Senate, the state Senate, and we'll be in a divided an era of divided government either way, right? With Republicans controlling the House, Governor Whitmer at the governor's mansion, no matter who controls the state house.
When our special returns, I'll ask Perryman and Dulio if the people of Michigan could be the deciding factor in who resides in the White House for the next 4 years.